Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Season 12, Episode 4, overall 609 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email the dealership at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969, and Barry Cullen Chevrolet has been a proud sponsor, advertiser with Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show for the past 3 years. I hope everyone is doing well on this Wednesday, October 29th, 2025. Big night for sports. We've got World Series action, Game 5 tonight, 8:10 pitch. Trey Savage against Blake Snell. Dodgers and Jays tied 2-2. Jays winning last night 6-2. So Game 5 tonight in Los Angeles. And then Game 6 will be Friday night, Halloween night. By the way, happy Halloween, everybody, for Friday, October 31st. Jays and Dodgers will be playing Game 6 in Toronto on Friday at 8 p.m. as well. So really looking forward to that. And hopefully you all can tune into this show tonight and then catch the Jays-Dodgers game about 8:10 as well. I'm looking forward to my guest tonight. It's her first appearance. We met through TikTok, and tonight's guest, her name is Jazmine Taylor. She is a results-driven HR professional and founder of her own company called TaylorMadeHR, a people-first consulting brand dedicated to transforming workplaces. So we're going to bring on Miss Jazmine Taylor right now. Good evening, Jazmine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am doing good. I can't believe it's almost the end of October.
It's crazy. I was just telling a coworker, I'm just trying to smooth my way all the way to November, just easily float into it.
November, I can't believe that. Like, it's hard to believe. And since we're at the end of October, what are your thoughts on Halloween, and what's some of your favorite Halloween traditions?
Oh, so tomorrow, my team, we're doing an employee engagement event. So we're going to have everybody dress up. And since majority of people have taken off on Friday due to their children wanting to go trick-or-treating, so we're going to just hang out together and just share some of our favorite treats, and as well as just rate our costumes, who have the best costumes out of the group. Since Halloween is on a Friday, I haven't thought about it. I believe I'm just going to go out, maybe hang out with a few friends and just enjoy the day, and hopefully the next day go into November and have a just amazing time.
What kind of costume are you going to wear, since I'm going to put you on the spot here? And what were some of your favorite Halloween treats as a kid?
Oh, well, the costume I'm wearing is going to be a cat. So I'm going to be a kitty cat. So I'm excited about that. And then my favorite candy is a Twix always. And then I do love Snickers as well, and Reese's. So those are my guilty pleasures. So I'm looking forward to all the candy I'm going to get tomorrow.
For me, it was Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I always liked eating Reese's Peanut Butter Cups or Kit Kats.
Oh, Kit Kats are really good. I can definitely say that it's top tier as well.
I always dressed up as either a hockey player or baseball player, football, anything sporting I always dressed up for and stuff like that. Last time I went out for Halloween was October 31st, I think 1985, 84, 85. So I'm ancient. That was the last time I went out for Halloween.
Well, you're missing all the fun. It's so much fun out on Halloween, especially good fun, like, especially if you're at home at a decent time, but you should definitely go out this year or try to enjoy it. You never know.
By the way, I did put your company logo in the background too.
I did see that, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
How did you come about the logo and the branding aspect of it?
Yeah, so I play around in Canva a lot. So I love that platform. I'm not really Adobe savvy, but Canva is a little bit more user friendly. So I was playing with a little bit of different logos, and I'm switching between this one and another one that I have. But this one is my primary, my first one. So this is my first love, and it'll be hard to rebrand with my other logo. It's a little bit more simpler, but I love the pink and I just love how it represents and have the main person, me, on top and then influencing those underneath me. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool to show exactly what TaylorMade HR is.
I give you credit because I tried using Canva, and you have to have a lot of patience with that. So I've learned my strengths. I have a lot of strengths, but I learned there's some things I need help with, and that's one thing I got to work on is getting help with the graphics and the design stuff.
Yeah, just let me know. I'm a Canva, I feel like expert at this point. I'm gonna take that title. So if you ever need help, just let me know and I can walk you through.
Same here, and when you start up a podcast, feel free to reach out to me about any kind of assistance because I try to always pay it back forward to other people.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Jasmine, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself? I know I'm just outside of Toronto and you're in the
Mhm.
great state of Michigan. So can you just tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Jazmine Taylor. I live in Detroit, Michigan. I've been in Detroit area since I was a kid, born and raised. I moved to Florida for a bit back in middle high school, and then we relocated back to Michigan. So to finish out my high school, the rest of my high school year, and then to go to college. So I did graduate from the University of Michigan. I initially went there as and got a bachelor's in psychology, which is pretty much on par with most HR professionals. I've noticed either they get a business degree or HR or something in HR or even a psychology or a criminal justice background, something that deals with people. And so, yeah, I ended up getting in psychology and I thought about it. And I think I believe what really impacted me and got me really further in my HR career was taking in I believe my last year, it was my senior year, I took an industrial organizational psychology course. And that influenced me so much to end up pursuing a career in human resources, just seeing how you can be empathetic in HR. You can be a person who focuses on educating those and making sure people are emotionally intelligent and making sure you're building leaders who can push your organization into probably a different playing field than you potentially thought. So from there, I ended up moving to Nashville, Tennessee to pursue my master's in business administration with a concentration in human resource management. And I was down there for a bit and then relocated back to the state of Michigan. And currently I work for the state of Michigan. So I've had experience in different industries. I've been in banking, I've been in a startup, a healthcare startup specifically. I did security, human resources. So now I'm with the state government and I love it so much because it's super massive, but it gives me a different outlook of HR because I've been in pretty small companies or mid-sized companies, but state has over 50,000 people, maybe more than that. So yeah.
I wanted to get your opinion on this.
Mhm.
Do you find empathy nowadays has diminished?
I definitely do, especially after it probably was before COVID, but I think definitely after COVID when everyone migrated to working from home when those positions could or pitting up putting on face mask or doing the 6 feet policy, so people, especially I feel like the younger generation who didn't know the work industry before COVID or didn't experience it before COVID, most people, and especially the new hires that come in, they're like, this is my first job, in-person job. And it's like, wow, you've been out of school for the last 3 years and you haven't had an in-person job. So I feel like the empathy part, people mainly focus on themselves and focus on what can they do, or they're like, well, I don't go into the office, so I don't have to worry about others. I just have to worry about my work, but you still have to collaborate with individuals.
Do you find social skills have shrunk as well?
Yes, yes, I've noticed through emails, people don't want to pick up a phone. I'm really quick with calling someone or reaching out with someone when they need help, but most people, even today, someone was like, "Oh, I can't be on camera," and I'm like, "That's fine. We can do a video chat, but a video call, so we don't have to be on camera." So, a lot of people prefer email communication or text. So my teams usually is going crazy before my phone system is.
Since you mentioned you're from Detroit, Michigan, what makes Detroit and the state of Michigan such a great place to work and live in?
I feel like everything from the people to the food, from the culture. It's a lot of history of Detroit. Obviously, Motown, that's very popular worldwide. Like that started R&B to a whole nother level. So even today, artists is being influenced by Motown impact on the music industry, but even our sports, like I feel like our sports is as best as they've been in a while, just not even college, but also professional. So just seeing how the city is thriving, and a lot of people may feel like, oh, Detroit fell off, but we've always been a persevering and resilient city and state. Everywhere is beautiful. It's just not Detroit, but all over even the Upper Peninsula is beautiful. So I feel like I always recommend people to go visit and see for themselves, because when I go visit other areas, people are like, how bad is it? And I'm like, oh, it's not that as bad as y'all think. Like, everywhere has their bad areas. That's what I always remind people. And unfortunately, Detroit has that title, but that's my heart. That's where I'm from. So I feel like just more people should come visit and kind of see. Our downtown is beautiful. Our Riverwalk is beautiful, especially during this time of year as Christmas season is coming. Campus Martius is going to be amazing with ice skating rink and a huge Christmas tree. So always recommend, especially this time of year, if people are cool with the cold weather.
The city's kind of reinvented itself. It used to be
Mhm.
a rust bucket city. Obviously, automotive industry, obviously, still a big deal there, but it's kind of become more of a tech city now, too.
Yes, it is booming with the tech industry. Especially with the University of Michigan, they're definitely investing in smart cars and bringing back the automobile industry back to the Michigan area. A lot of the other big three companies are trying to push more towards cars that are smart cars, and utilizing the AI that we are seeing evolve in front of our eyes to become more and be able to use it to help build the city more. So I'm looking forward to the coming years, even within this short period of time with me being back. It just seems like so much has happened. And even the downtown area, I'm like, we didn't have all these brunch places when I was younger. So now seeing that there, we're the new adults, me and my friends, we're able to enjoy the downtown area and be able to go out and just enjoy ourselves and really get the best out of the city.
You mentioned AI, and I was going to bring it up after, but do you find AI is kind of shrinking the workforce, and how much of an impact has AI had on the human resources industry as well, profession?
Well, I know right now AI is very big in the media and the news, and people saying on social media that AI is going to take their jobs. So a lot of people are scared, like, oh, should I adapt or should I just not use it? And or I've noticed with older individuals, they're like, oh, I don't have to worry about this because I'm older and I'm not going to be in the work field force not any longer, maybe another 2 or 3 years. But I tell people AI is, you can't stop it at this point. It's like when the internet started or when Google or your new iPhone, like just seeing how that evolved in a short period of time. AI is moving just as quickly and evolving just as fast. So I've noticed that even within different HR industries, like within different industries that HR work for, AI has been in HR for as long as I've been in there. And I guess people never realize that because AI has always been on the recruiting side. So scanning through resumes and applicant tracking systems, all that runs on AI. So it's just being more pushed out to the public now. And people are utilizing it to build their resumes, utilizing it to build to enhance their resume, enhance their skills. Just I tell people like you need to learn it and use it because it's going to help with furthering your career. But also when it comes to it is going to change the industry. It's going to change jobs. It's going to take jobs away. But when you think about it, it's also going to build more jobs. Someone has to run those AI systems. Someone has to code them. Um, so it's going to be opportunities for people to come in and add their input or utilize their skills and grow and turn AI to something that people probably would have never imagined. Even with my company, I utilize AI pretty much on every post I use. So it pushed my company and has grown it so much within a short period of time.
Jasmine, I'm going to ask you this too. I'm now self-employed and have my own business. Do you find in the last couple years, especially after the pandemic, there's more people now self-employed than working for a company? Because nowadays you're just a number in a company, and there's also a number of issues too with favoritism and workplace politics and all that too.
Unfortunately, yes, that is, well, I say it's good for the individual, but unfortunately, that is a reason most people are leaving organizations because do feel like just the number. Who wants to spend 40 hours? That's the minimal, 40 hours out of their week with a company that doesn't listen to them, that is just abusing their power technically, retaliating against them, harassing them. So I can definitely understand why people just want to say, you know what? I don't want to take this anymore. I want to just do my own thing because you got to think all the companies we worked for or have worked for was started from somebody's idea. It started from an idea and it turned into what it is today, a massive entity or a smaller corporation. So I definitely believe everyone should have something on the side or something to fall back on because you never know your career what may happen where you can't work, or maybe it's the instance where you have a parent or a sibling who no longer can work and need a caregiver. So having something to always fall back on that's yours, I always tell people you should do something that you love on the side that you will never get tired of. Because even you can get tired of working in your same company or working in your same industry. People reinvent themselves literally every day or what they did in their 20s they don't want to do in their 30s, or if they what they did in their 30s they don't want to do in their 40s and onward. So I feel like you should find something that you're passionate on and find a skill. Like you never know what skill you may have that you can utilize and sell that other people's don't have. Everyone is an individual for a reason. Everyone has different skills that they could potentially market into making more money for themselves. So who wouldn't love to do something like that?
I reinvented myself 6 years ago, volunteering for a basketball team who needed a camera operator, which I'd never done in my life. They actually showed me what I needed to do. They liked my work. They actually paid me for it. And then I ended up going to a cable company, did some camera work for a couple years, and the camera work led to me doing podcasting. So being at the right place at the right time. And I tell people too, I volunteered a long time in my life for over 30 years, but sometimes you can find a new career through volunteer work as well.
Exactly. I definitely agree. I feel like more people need to, especially if you're volunteering, you're giving back your time, and you never know what may turn into a passion. You never know if you don't try. You never know who you may interact with, who God may place you in front of that could give you a whole different life outlook. It could change your whole trajectory of your life. So that's amazing to hear that you were able to find a passion and it grow into this platform that we're on now. So that's definitely goals, and hopefully inspire anybody who's listening, and that you never know what may grow into a career for yourself.
My last career, I was there for 2+ decades. And for the most part, it was a good job, but times change. The company changed and I changed. And I ended up leaving on a work divorce. And it was time for both sides to part way. And but being in security, I did security for 2 decades. That kind of prepared me for this, because when you're in security, I was in a casino security. You deal with all walks of life: rich people, poor people, middle class, people with mental health issues, people with crises. So I learned how to communicate with people, but also listening as well. And especially in the HR department profession, listening is probably just as important as speaking to employees as well.
Exactly, because in working in HR, you deal with everyone from all walks of life and different age groups. So, like some of the people I deal with is my grandparents' age, while others are young enough to just now enter in the workforce. So, freshly 18 and just graduated and have such a fresh perspective and happiness about them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to see you grow and never let that light dim from you, because work can be a lot. It can be draining, especially if you're in a company that isn't pouring back into you like you're pouring into them, that's taking so much of your time. So it's important to be able to set whatever issues you're going through aside and be able to talk to people, and be able to not have any biases, and understand that we're all human at the end of the day. Like, if we have human resources in our title, like we're human, we're the resource to these humans that we happen to be coworkers. So some people feel, I've noticed, that it's them against HR because HR is on the company side, but that's something that I don't agree with. I'm always going to advocate for an employee because I'm an employee too for the same company. Like I just like you can lose your job, I can lose my job. God forbid anything like that happens. But some people feel like, oh, it is I guess like what most people say, HR is in their own little world. But at the same time, I've noticed I do be in my own little world, because sometimes when you make different connections, that some people cross boundaries and want to hear, well, what's going on? What's the tea? Like, and it's like, I can't tell you certain information because it's like, it's confidential. And I can't talk to you about other employees. So some people wants to know what's going on with, like, oh, why this person is leaving. And I'm like, sorry, I can't tell you.
Confidential,
Mhm,
because
mhm.
if you tell employees stuff that they shouldn't know from the management side of it, then you can lose your job as well.
Exactly, exactly. And some people don't think of it that deeply, but once I explain it, they understand it. And they're like, okay, I won't cross that line again. Or in the opposite, where I can't take off my HR hat, if I become friends with somebody and they bring up like, hey, my manager has been doing this, how should I go about it? And I'm like, oh, wait, I can't take off my HR hat. Let me go ahead and talk to you and let you know exactly what you should do, especially if it's someone who works within our company. So I always try to make sure people are advocating for themselves, because some people don't. They feel like, hey, well, I'm gonna just go to HR, but HR is limited at the same time with certain things. So sometimes you have to go outside. You have to go to the EEOC or consult an employment lawyer. So, yeah.
3 terms I want to mention to you, Jazmine. I want to get your thoughts on workplace bullying and harassment, belittling, and also ghosting, where a lot of people apply for jobs. And
Mhm.
obviously, the company has a right to decide who they hire and they don't hire, but sometimes they just ghost candidates. And I wanted to get your thoughts on ghosting in not just the dating world, but in the work world as well.
Yeah, I've read a few little posts on social media about ghosting, or even on LinkedIn. It's a bunch of people who experience that. And it's even a conspiracy theory I've heard that people feel like companies are just posting positions and not really filling them because they're going to already fill it with, or already know who they're going to fill it with internally, or a friend. So I don't feel like ghosting is acceptable at any time. I feel like even if it's a generic email, you should send it out and let them know, hey, we're moving forward with another candidate, but we'll keep your resume handy just in case we have another position that we open up that potentially you could fit. Um, so yeah, ghosting definitely is not cool at all, no matter where or when you are within the recruiting process. Because imagine if you had 2 or 3 interviews and then also you've done a project. I've had people who told me that they've done a full project to make them stand out. This was part of the interview process, and then they never heard back from the company. I don't, that's not fair. Or even people who've flown to different cities for a position. And usually when you think I'm flying, a company is flying me out to this position, they're going to hire me. And then they get ghosted. That's like the worst feeling, because you start questioning yourself. Like, did I do anything wrong? Like, did I not interview well? Like, what was it? And you will never get that answer, unfortunately, with some companies. So yeah, I personally have never done that with when I did recruiting, but I have heard of horror stories of that happening. And I wish it didn't, but I really don't know if people get overwhelmed with all the different feedback, but I still don't see a point of ever ghosting someone.
And it's on the employee side too, because sometimes people are offered a job and then they just don't tell the employer that they're not taking the job. So to me, I think it's 50-50. If someone doesn't get a job, I guess technically they don't have to tell you the reason why, but
Mhm.
out of professional courtesy, they should send you an email or some kind of documentation or whatever. And just like an employee, if they decide not to take a job, just not a good fit for them or something, then they should at least tell the company and let them know as well. I just find communication nowadays is diminishing.
It is. It really is. And it's like we're humans, we're people behind these computer screens. I think people forget that it's another person you're dealing with behind that computer or behind that email. And some people, this is like their 100th application, or this it's really it's a rough out here with certain people trying to apply to positions and not having that response. You have that person waiting, and they could be like, this was my final chance to get this position that I've really wanted so badly. And so my heart goes out to those people that ever been ghosted. It's just not cool.
What are your thoughts on workplace bullying and harassment nowadays, and belittling too?
I always say that I'm grateful to be in human resources because I personally never experienced bullying or harassment, but I've investigated it and seen that it does happen. And I feel like some people who get in places of power who never been given power kind of let that go to their head, I've noticed, and that they usually want to show like, oh, I'm the king or the queen of this specific location, and whatever I say is law. And they forget the employee manual and all the training that they've been through, leadership training, the even signing off. Every employee signs off on their employee manual. And I know every employee manual that I've reviewed has some type of harassment retaliation line within it, and that is prohibited. And still, it continues to be broken. That rule is always broken. It's unfortunate that people do experience that within their work. Like this, it's unfortunate to experience it, period, in life, because most people think that's like high school to be a bully, or middle school. But people are bullies as adults. Those bullies become adults, and they unfortunately become managers. So unfortunately, it's sad that those people do get into places of power and have some type of impact on someone's position and career. But for me, I investigate in depth and thoroughly, and I listen to everyone's side. And typically, with supervisors who do the harassment, um, it's a little bit harder, but we do figure out exactly what set it off, because typically I've noticed this isn't your first time doing this. You've done this, and you can kind of brush it under the rug majority of the time. But when it comes to me, I come in with a clear conscience. I come in and I want to know what happened. I want to make sure that if this was a supervisor issue, that this is handled, and the supervisor is like held accountable for their actions. Because a lot of people feel like, especially supervisors who's been there for a while, they'll try to get kind of close to HR to think that, oh, we're buddies, so they'll always be on my side. And that's not the case, because if you're harassing or bullying someone, because typically it's someone in power who's doing the bullying and harassing, um that's not, they need to know that's not acceptable, and need to know that you will be held accountable for your actions.
Jasmine, for those people that are watching this show live stream or on audio, and let's say they're working for a company right now and they do feel like they're being bullied and harassed by a supervisor or management, and they don't feel comfortable going to HR, which a lot of us in the past probably haven't, what advice would you give to those people?
I say first, write every detail after it happens down. If you're walking around with a notepad, you do that and you write everything down, even if you have to go to the restroom and say, okay, at 6:35, this happened. I need to um, remember this, because after the incident, so you are on your way home and now you're thinking of everything, you may forget. So you need to write all that down immediately after, and keep a paper trail, because paper trails beat anything. Paper trails beat word of mouth. Paper trails beat every single thing. So if you don't trust your HR, which it does happen, it's a lot of bad HR individuals out here, unfortunately. You can reach out to, I recommend first going to an employment lawyer, just to make sure that you have a case and that this is something that you can put into words, because a lot of people don't know how to word different situations they've been in, to make sure that they are putting as much detail as possible, but also showing that this is an ongoing issue. This isn't just a one-off thing. And a one-off situation, I definitely would recommend any situation to go to human resources, even if you don't feel comfortable, just to show that I had this situation, I brought it to your attention, and you did not do anything about it. So even after you've talking to HR, even though you don't feel comfortable, I always follow up with an email, or follow up with an email which is time stamped, or you can follow up with a letter, and you can sign off on a letter like, hey, I wanted to let you know this happened on this date, and that I am writing this out on a letter, and I expect you to do your job as a human resources representative or generalist with our company to investigate this thoroughly. And if they choose not to investigate it, or they say, oh, we haven't found anything, that's when you should go to an employment lawyer, especially if it's something like harassment and retaliation, because that's going against your civil rights. So then at that point, if when you do have a case, you can always go to the EEOC if you're within the United States. So I definitely recommend individuals to go out and review what information you can pull from the EEOC website, and it's wild how many cases are out there of companies harassing, retaliating individuals. And I feel like the EEOC put them cases out there for people to review so they can understand that the littlest thing, like pregnancy discrimination or pregnancy harassment or age discrimination, age harassment, it's illegal. You have federal laws that are on your side that trumps even your employee manual. So you have something that advocates for you. And that's why we do have the EEOC and employment lawyers out there that will advocate for you if your human resources individual isn't.
Now, what are some do nots with HR? I know when I worked in a company, you shouldn't use company emails for complaints. If you got issues with the company, you should probably use your own personal email and not the company's email or computers.
Oh, that's a good question. So I personally would use the company's devices, but I would CC myself as well, my personal email, just so they know this is coming from Jazmine within the company. I did email from my personal work given email address because some people have they aren't allowed to access their phones. I've worked places where you have to pitch your phone up because some people are in organizations that have a lot of confidential information. So they don't want you to use your device to potentially get information out there. So I would definitely recommend using the work email as well as CCing yourself on there. If not, if you don't feel comfortable or if you're not provided with a work email, you can always use your own personal email given to you. Oh, some don'ts. Ooh, let's see. Obviously, not being rude to people and harassing people. Coming into a company, I would say, with a clear mind, not bringing previous drama from another company into the current company you're working for. Because you have to give HR a chance because some people have this bias against HR as well, where they see or think, oh, I worked for a company before, my HR individual never took me serious or never listened to me or never was helpful or never answered their call or wasn't on site. So um, just being able to have that connection with your human resources, I think is so important because they have a lot of valuable information. You're going to deal with them. You have to, on your first day, sign your I-9 document. So getting in with them and talking to them and kind of filling them out to see what type of person they are. Usually when you're onboarded, you're talking to a recruiter. So a recruiting, depending on the company, is a part of human resources, but sometimes it's not. So you don't know exactly what you're getting into until you're in your first day. Um, yeah, it's a lot. I feel like just being yourself, like I, it's hard to say what not to fully do because you never know what type of person you're dealing with.
Now, would you recommend when you do with HR, obviously you want everything in writing. Some people I've noticed in the past they usually do phone calls. Ideally, probably document your conversation with HR instead of a phone call. What's your thoughts on phone calling HR?
So what I've told individuals is even if you have to get on the call with them and talk about whatever's going on, that's like meet it in person. If your HR is on site, you're going to their office. Always follow up with an email after, just going over, reviewing exactly what y'all discussed. And if it's any miscommunication, they'll be able to clear it up by email. You'll be able to clear it up by email as well as if you want to write a letter. I know people don't want to pull out that pen and paper anymore, or you can text it, talk like type it up through your notes app, and then from there print it out, sign it and date it, and then send it to them like, hey, this is what we discussed. Can you review this? And if you agree, can you sign off on that you reviewed it? And that's protecting yourself. And if anything was to happen, you'll have that to reference back to.
Jasmine, I want to get your thoughts too. I've worked in a unionized environment. What are your thoughts on unions against jobs that have no unions?
So I currently work for a unionized company, and I personally love unions. Like, I feel like they are there to advocate for the employee, and I wish more companies did allow employees. Well, it's not the company, but I wish more employees knew how to start unions and knew that this is a benefit for them to be able to advocate for themselves. I know it is hard when it comes to starting one up because a lot of people don't know where to start and how to get it started. So I'll definitely recommend people to do their research or talk to someone, or even going to a already started union and seeing if you qualify to be added to theirs, because they do have resources that they're able to provide people or employees of companies that aren't currently unionized to be able to how to start one. So I've worked for non-union companies, which were smaller, and I've noticed that with smaller union, non-unionized workplaces, that HR does handle a lot, but at the same time, I think it's more manageable where they don't miss things, which is always possible for smaller companies too. But when it comes to a bigger organization, I do feel like unions are very beneficial, because when you have, say, one HR individual to 300 employees, that can be overwhelming. So going to or having HR department within the company and the union collaborate, because usually HR is doing the investigating for the union on site, and then we're giving them the information that we found, and they're comparing that with what information they have, or if the employee is telling them something slightly different, going through the grievance processes and things. So having somebody off site who doesn't have a hand within the company, who have this unbiased view of things, that's what I feel like unions are there for, to be able to offer that protection and be a voice for employees when they're going through things within the organization.
Jazmine, what are your thoughts on employment lawyers? And have you seen it where someone had to get an employment lawyer involved and then the company retaliated against that employee for
Well,
getting an employee?
retaliation,
Yes.
yes, retaliation is illegal regardless if the employee does get an employment lawyer. That's their right. If they feel like the HR office is not doing what they should, they are always welcome to get an employment lawyer. I personally haven't had that issue. I have seen it been threatened a few times where they were like, "Oh, I'm going to get an employment lawyer," and it hasn't got to that point because we were able to help the employee and figure out exactly where the miscommunication was. But yeah, you have every right, if you want to just do a consultation call and see if you have a case, you have that right to. And when it comes to the company finding out that you do have an employment lawyer and they do choose to try to retaliate by firing you or giving you more, changing your schedule or giving you harsher work, that's when you start documenting even more, and you document harder because you have a case on your hand. And unfortunately, the company will be punished. Well, fortunately, the company will be punished for something like that because that's not acceptable.
What are your thoughts on wrongful dismissal?
That is the worst feeling. And personally, that's the worst part of working at HR, is terminating someone, but wrongfully, that's not acceptable either. It's terrible because you're not only you're taking money out of this person's household, you don't know how many people are living paycheck to paycheck, and now this source of income is gone. So to wrongfully terminate somebody for something that they didn't do, it happens. Unfortunately, it happens a lot, but it's something that, again, you have the EEOC on your side, as well as employment lawyers and people like me, to be able to walk you through the process of how to advocate for yourself. Even though you may not want to work back for that company, some people do, but you should still fight it, because even though most cities, I mean, more states are at will employers, it's still, that doesn't mean you can just be terminated for whatever reason. You still have to, or you can ask why was I terminated, or give me the exact reason. You have that right. And if they don't want to give you that reason, you may have a case and be able to talk to an employment lawyer and be able to figure out exactly where can you go from here.
Wanted to ask you this too, Jazmine, since I got you on. There's been some companies where people weren't fired, but they were forced to quit. And I've been told by an employment lawyer it's always better to be fired than to quit. But I've also recently talked to somebody saying if a company pressures and forces you into quitting, you still have a legal case against them, even if you resigned.
Yeah, you do, because some employers will try to ice you out and try to box you in a corner to where the point you like, I feel uncomfortable. I feel to the point I have to resign. And that's illegal as well. That's not acceptable, because you should never feel uncomfortable to the point where you like, I have to just resign from this role. I can't take it anymore. Like, this is causing me extra issues that could be health wise and mental health, that causing you emotional distress, and that's never acceptable. I agree with the employment lawyer that you did talk to, that it is better to be fired, even though you don't want to be, than resigning, because most likely when you're fired, you do get
Severance.
some type of severance package, some type of plan. You're also unemployment, because typically when unemployment is filed, depending on the state that you're working in, they would want you to instead be fired versus resigning, because that can affect the benefits that you're being paid out.
Jazmine, what are some of the biggest causes of a toxic work environment these days?
It's so many things. It could be just the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you look. Someone can just, it could be any little thing that triggers someone to cause them to be like, you know what, I don't like this person, and I'm going to be a bully and I'm going to be mean to them. With just everything going on, just like with so many people moving to different areas and moving across the states and country, you never know what someone may be used to. So they could be moving from the West Coast to the East Coast, and they're like, geez, this accent, like something about it, I just don't enjoy. Someone moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, and they're like, oh, we're gonna bully them and make them want to move back. Or imagine you coming into a company and someone wanted the position you had. You're a fresh new person and didn't know that they weren't chosen, and now they have this vendetta against you, and you're like, what did I do? I'm a new person. So you never know what may trigger somebody to have that dislike of you or cause that environment where you feel uncomfortable. And that's the worst thing to come into, especially a company where it's already a toxic culture and you've been technically tricked, because you don't know what you're walking into until you're on site and you're like, this is definitely the wrong company. I should have stayed where I was. So imagine moving across the country and you sold your home, and now you have nowhere to go back to, and now you have to ride it out. That's not cool, or that no one should experience that.
How does one company try to clean up a toxic work environment?
Yeah, so that's where people like me come in, or if you want to bring in an organizational development individual, or just bringing in someone who is not part of your organization, I think is best, because sometimes those in the organization been there so long that they unknowingly have this toxic thought mindset. Like, even if they leave the company, they could keep that toxic mindset, be like, well, this is how we did it in this company, and they'll think it's acceptable wherever they go, and that's not the case. So it's important for people to be able to not, like, I would say, go into the company with just leadership. I think leadership is as well, like from the upper management down to lower management, like they have to tell the individuals within the company and pretty much let them know, like, hey, this is unacceptable. And it usually starts from the top and trickle down to the bottom. And once you have someone who is meeting with upper management and letting them know after they investigated and seen just how the company runs and see that, hey, this is what we found, how, and these are the tools and resources we can to change how this company is currently influencing their employees. Because I've noticed when employees aren't being taken care of, that can lead to burnout, and that can lead to other issues, mental health and health issues, that they will need some type of maybe psychiatrist to talk them through. And that, to that point, your job is causing you to need mental health help, and that's sad.
What's your thoughts, Jasmine, on friends in the workplace? Do you think people can have friends in the workplace, or are they better off keeping it at a professional level?
I've met really great people who became some of my closest friends from the workplace. So you never know. I feel like some people have that guard up when they come into a new organization where they're like, okay, I'm not making new friends. I already have my outside friends. I don't need any more. But it's you're at work 40 hours at minimum when you're full time. So you're bound to make relationships with people. You're bound to find somebody who you share something with. Obviously, you share something with because you work for the same company, and the person who you sit next to may be that person who become your best friend, or you overhear a conversation, you're like, oh, I know about that topic, and you turn around like, I like that too. Or you say, oh, I went to a basketball game over the weekend, and then you find out that your coworker loves the same basketball team or was at that basketball game too. And you're like, well, next time you go, let's go together. So I've had instances like that where coworkers went out for a lunch and just seeing that we ordered something similar. We're like, hey, you like that too? And go from there. So I think people shouldn't have their guard up too much when it comes to coming into a company and not wanting to make friends, but also understanding that certain things you should not share within the organization, and understanding that if the relationship is to go sour, that hopefully it doesn't. But usually when you have, I feel like, emotional intelligence and understand your triggers and what sets you off, then you will find somebody who doesn't get to that point where you're like, oh, I no longer want to be their friend.
Jasmine, I know over here in Ontario, Canada, some companies, if you're having issues or stress from work, they have a program called EAP, which is Employees Assistance Programs. Do you have something like that similar in the States?
Yes, we do. We do. We always, during every few months, we always bring them back up or have them talk to our employees just so they know we do have this resource for you, because some people do not have resources to talk to. Usually it's the social worker or someone with a social work background who works within our EAP department. So having someone there who they can talk about work related situations they're going through, or if it's a mental health thing, like, oh, I'm burnt out at work, like I just can't do it anymore, on top of my husband lost his job, now I'm the main breadwinner right now. So it's like you may be going through something so traumatic in your life that your coworkers may not know, and you need somebody to talk to who is not within your household to vent to and let them know what's going on. And usually they can provide you with further resources, maybe pointing you towards someone who could possibly help you or help the individual you're dealing with find a job, or provide you with resources where you can say, hey, if you're experiencing less money, so now you're budgeting a little bit more than you're used to, or maybe you don't have the resources that you typically had. So they can provide you and point you in the right direction to find where you can receive help.
What are your thoughts on employees going on stress leave? And I know the laws might be a little different in the States and Canada. Can somebody who's on stress leave in the States have their job taken away from them?
So stress leave, are you talking like FMLA, like mental
Just
health leave?
they're on stress leave from anxiety or some kind of mental health issues.
Yeah, so with mental health, it does fall under FMLA. So if you do need a mental health break, which it does, I recommend taking your time off, using your time. You accrued it, so you have the right to use it. So we do offer like FMLA, so family medical leave, to individuals to take personal leave for themselves if they're dealing with, say, like my job is a little bit stressful, especially around a certain time of the year. So I need to take time off before it to prepare and just unwind and reset myself. So I always let individuals know that that is an option, that if they want to work towards that, they just need medical documentation. And some people try to stray away from that because they like, oh, now I have to tell my doctor what's going on. But your doctor should already know. Your doctor should be aware that you're going through this mental health crisis and that you need some time off. And your doctor should advocate for you as well and be willing to fill out the paperwork to help you with that leave.
Jasmine, before we wrap things up, if you're still good for time, for somebody out there, what are some signs that maybe it is time to leave a company where it's like, you know what, it just too much has happened and maybe it's better for both sides to part ways?
You know, it's been instances I've heard of people who wake up on Saturday or Sunday and they're like, oh my gosh, tomorrow is Monday. Or in 2 days, I'll be back at work. And I'm just not, they literally sit on the side of their bed and think, like, is this for me? When you get to that point where you're dreading on the weekend going to work, you definitely need to reevaluate your career choice or your company choice. Like, you should never feel like, oh my gosh, this is causing me so much mental trauma, anguish that I can't even enjoy my off days because I have to go to this company. So when you get to that point where your body is fed up, your some people even their skin start to break out or they start eating more. I've noticed like their cortisone levels are off. So getting that information from your doctor, going to the doctor and understanding like knowing your body, knowing when you're exhausted, when you can't take anymore, when you're like, this is too much, this is overwhelming. And I've even noticed when people get promoted that they didn't know that this promotion would cause them to not only get a pay increase, but get a workload increase. So sometimes people need to work up to their work, or even if the company is going through restructuring and they're like, well, we're going to take this position away. Now you're short staffed. Now you're splitting work that was for 10 people to 8 or 9 people, which can overload your team. So when it gets to that point, it's like you're cutting $70,000, but it's not helping my team because now they're picking up the slack of this person or picking up this work of this person, that this body that we needed within our department. So that can be cause stress for somebody where they can be like, you know what, this isn't for me, or that I need to do something else, or I need to go to another company who values not only us within our organization, but also values our voices. Because most of the time when, say, someone is leaving a company and they decide not to backfill, you didn't talk to the manager to know that, hey, if you don't backfill this position, my team will slowly trickle out of here. So that can cause an even bigger issue.
There's another topic I want to bring up with you, but I want to play the video clip from your YouTube channel. How can people subscribe and like and share your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so go into YouTube and type in it @ or TaylorMadeHR. That would be amazing. And you will be able to go and review all my videos. I post videos like the one you're going to show, and I also go through EEOC cases and let people know exactly this is a case that happened within this company. This may be something you've probably
report issues. I coach new managers on communication.
I apologize.
HR said
I must have hit something.
I coach new managers.
Okay.
You can also give feedback. I design policies, templates. You can also give feedback. If something's helping or hurting, share it. Reviews go both ways.
I apologize. I wanted to play the one on. Okay, this is the one I was going to play the one on favoritism, but we'll just play this clip with you witness harassment.
Look away. If you see harassment, report it. Silence protects the wrong person. Don't look away. If you see harassment, report it. Silence protects the wrong.
Thoughts on that video harassment, and also you did one on favoritism as well.
Yeah, so I'll touch on the favoritism because I have experienced that personally. Because I always want to brag on myself. I'm so good at my job. Like, I'm a person who I'm willing to help anytime. Like, okay, if you call me, I'm here. If you need me to come in, I'm there. If you need me to pick up on things like or handle certain things, I'm that person for you. So that maybe that's the teacher pet inside of me, or just always been that type of person growing up. So when it comes to in a work field, some people can feel like, oh wait, this person, like, why is Jazmine always called? Why is Jazmine always the person you go to for things? And it's just easier to go to Jazmine, but you got to also spread that love to other individuals within the company. You always going to me, and maybe I'm not here, maybe I'll leave the company. So you got to make sure that other individuals within your organization is just as well trained or cross-trained on different things that may arise, because I may not always be that person that's there, or you may not have that opportunity where I'm able to answer my phone at this time. So being able to say, okay, well, Jazmine isn't here, but also have maybe this other person who I can go to, and being able to take that feedback from your subordinates and understanding like, hey, like, maybe I do need to start calling other people besides Jazmine. So I have been in that predicament where some people tend to gravitate towards me and get that favorite person that they have and they like to go to. Even I've had employees do that to me where they went to another area, but they always still come back to me because they like, oh, you help me. You're always helping with a smile. And it's like, yeah, but this is your HR rep now. I'm not that person, but I can help you. But I'll also add your person to this email so they know exactly what I helped you with. So yeah.
What's one word to describe yourself as an HR professional? And I've seen companies where HR, every 2-3 months, there's new HR people. I assume that's a red flag of a company when you constantly see new HR people coming in and out of the company.
That is a big red flag to me. That is a huge red flag. That's why I always ask individuals during interviews when I'm going to a new company, or I'll recommend any person ask this question. So, are you backfilling this role, or is this a new addition to your team? And if they're backfilling it, what is the reason they're backfilling it? And how long was that person there? Or how many people have been in this position previously? You have the right to ask all those questions. Like, usually some people during interviews don't have any questions, but I feel like that is a question you should ask. I've been in a situation where I was like the 5th HR manager within 5 years. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was something I was like that. I took on the challenge, but that was a very, very red flag to me. Like, oh my gosh, this may not be the best fit for me. But sometimes it works out in the end, because sometimes they need someone like you in there to be able to make that impact and help the company become more Better, because sometimes when you add that light to that position, that role, where it makes people want to do better, it makes people want to come in and be like, oh, we have a good HR person here. This isn't like the other ones who just came in for a check and wanted to just come in and put their feet up or write people off, and this person really want to come in and do their job. So it can always fall into that, or it can fall into the other side where you come in and you're like, oh, I understand why they went through all these people, because it's nothing in order. Like, you're literally starting from scratch, or you're fixing the past 3 people mistakes when you come in, and no one wants to do that. That's because you didn't make that mess. So it depends on the person when they come in. Like, are you ready for that challenge, or to even help stop that going in during your interview and asking that question, like, how many people have been in this role within the last few years?
What's one word to describe Jazmine Taylor as an HR professional?
Oh, I feel like one word. Impactful. I would say that I want to make an impact in human resources. This is something I want to do for the rest of my life, and I feel like this is my calling. Like, it's wild to think that as a little girl, to see myself now, the woman I've become, and be like, wow, you are definitely making an impact. And I have a voice that I've even seen on TikTok. It's crazy to go have so many people, over 600,000 people view my videos. And it's like 600,000 people are looking at me and taking what I say. And even if it's an AR caricature, those are my thoughts that I'm putting out there. Those are my words that I'm putting out there, and just turn it into something more than I could ever think of. So even being on this platform, it's amazing.
Gotta get your thoughts on interviews today. Do you find it's harder now, the interview process, than back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, where you used to dress up, take your cover letter resume, go door to door? Somebody takes your cover letter resume, shakes your hand, you get your interviews. Just thought on the interview process going on in 2025.
It's a completely different beast nowadays. Like, going from people dressing up to people being more casual, depending on the role. Even some professional roles, I've had people come in very casually. I'm like, do you know what you're applying to? Like, so especially front-facing positions, I'm like, oh no, I don't know. But I feel like just putting your best foot forward and thinking like, this could be my dream job. Always looking at that, even though this may be a stepping stone for a person. I always tell people, just make it seem like it is your end all be all. You never know. Like, this could be a company you want to grow for, and this could be the company you retire from. So I've noticed also that people are leaning towards virtual interviews, where not only are they doing Zoom calls, but they're also doing recorded interviews where you're not talking to anyone. You're just answering a question that they provide you 5 minutes before, and then you're looking at yourself and talking to yourself and answering the question. You only have 3 takes. So it's wild what technology has changed, and especially has COVID has changed, where majority of first interviews or second interviews are done virtually. It may be a phone call, initial screening, and then a Zoom call. And then sometimes people are invited on site, and sometimes you're not. You don't get on site until you're onboarded, and which is wild to think that years ago you never would have experienced that. You would have applied in person. You would have brought your application or your resume in person, or filled out the application on site. Now, majority of the time, you don't even get a paper application. All that needs to be completed before you even step foot or be asked for the interview.
And sometimes people figure, oh, I get a virtual interview. They don't have to look presentable. Oh, I don't have to comb my hair, don't have to shave. I can wear my sweatshirt hoodie. But even in a virtual interview, you still probably should look professional on camera.
Exactly. You want to present yourself like you were going to present yourself in person. And you got to think, what type of position are you applying for? I'll have people on vacation poolside on interview calls, and I'm like, okay, this was very interesting. But I'm a person, I'm going to complete the interview because you never know. Like, some people do forget, and it's like you want to make sure, because you don't want to judge a book by its cover as well, and you want to give the person the benefit of the doubt, but it do makes you question, like, how serious is this person for this role.
How important is it to have an updated cover letter and resume?
So resume always important. That's, you want to make sure that all the dates align, all the information, the titles. Cover letters, it depends, like, on how what position you're applying for. So, like, if you're applying for, say, a teller role, you may not need a cover letter. It may be helpful if you do add a cover letter, but majority of the time, I see more cover letters or CVs and things, usually for upper career level roles. So say like a supervisor or a manager role, I do see cover letters. I don't see anything wrong with adding one, but majority of the time I've noticed most people don't read it. I always scan them because I've never seen them as often nowadays. So it's something I always smile at. Like, you put effort in this, and that catches my attention. And that's another thing. Having a cover letter, it can catch people attention. It can be like, wow, they aren't playing. They really want this position. And it gives because your resume only says so much about yourself. It's literally your career, your experience, maybe a few skills, and that's it. A cover letter can add a little bit more life to your resume. It can be like that added extra, like, to your resume, where it's like, oh, this person, I'm going to give them a call back because they went through exactly why they want this role, how their previous experience fit their role or this role they're applying for. So it adds that information where when I'm looking at this resume, I don't have that background knowledge.
Now, do you prepare cover letters and resumes yourself too?
I'm open to it. I do it for friends and family when they need help. And it's just not something that people have came to me more for, but like as a professional for TaylorMade HR. But that is something I do want to expand more into, because I love reviewing resumes and helping people. Because some people don't know how to work their experience. Like, yeah, I worked as a cashier, but I was a lead cashier, and I've counted over $10,000, and I was the person who dropped the money in the safe at night. And it's different things that people need to enhance themselves and sell themselves to get into some of these roles. And it's night and day sometimes when I look at resumes.
Hey, Jazmine. Sorry, for some reason I called you Taylor, but mistakes happen too, by the way. So we're all human beings. But before we wrap this show up again, how did you come up about starting your own company, TaylorMade Human Resources, and what were some of the challenges of starting up your own company as an entrepreneur, and how much did your past HR experiences help you with this?
So my past HR experience helped me in every way. So from going to different organizations as well, and pushing myself to apply to the next role after, say, the HR rep, because I've literally went through all the different positions within human resources. I just haven't been an HR business partner, which is something on my goal list, or CEO, or HRO. So all of my previous roles in different companies I worked for has helped me kind of find a bridge between the different gaps that people have within the policy and the people within the organization, because no organization is perfect. Like, even though I love every company I work for, there is a need for change and a need for education and empowerment to help people understand, like, you as the employee, you have a voice. So being able to be that person to push people and help them understand, like, hey, if you're going through something, if you don't speak up, who is going to speak up for you? So being able to be that person to get on a call with somebody and be like, hey, we can walk through this and talk through this so you can find your voice to advocate for yourself. So yeah, I started TaylorMadeHR last year. It was just the idea. I was like, let me just dabble into this on social media. And when people really start like commenting and asking different questions and DMing me and reaching out to me on LinkedIn, I'm like, okay, this is massive. This can be more than what I've even imagined or thought of. So being able to push myself and get out of my comfort zone as well, because sometimes you have these, like, negative thoughts, like, oh, no one's gonna care what I have to say. And people do. People are, sometimes what you're saying is voicing exactly what someone is thinking, or a thought that they had, and they're like, wait, this person is literally saying exactly what I thought about the other day. So I feel like social media has helped with pushing, being able to push out my content to those who are able to advocate for themselves and want to voice exactly what's going on within their company, and be like, wait, this person may be able to help me with the situation I'm going through. And that's all I want to do, is help people and educate people, because HR, when you think about it, everyone should know the information that we have access to. And unfortunately, some people just don't, and they don't know where to find the information. And it is a lot, but every person is going to deal with HR within their lifetime, or they're going to have HR within their own company if they don't work for an employer, or need some type of person who wears the HR hat. So everyone needs this skill, needs to understand exactly what HR is and how it's more than just terminating people. It's empowering people and pouring into people to know that you have someone on your side, or you can be that person to advocate for others.
I wish I had yourself and Shabana as HR, because my experiences haven't always been very good or productive. So I'm really thankful Shabana came on last week, and yourself. You guys seem very knowledgeable, but also very insightful. And I think the key word is HR. Whatever company you're in should always be approachable for employees.
I agree. I definitely agree. And I appreciate you having me on your platform. Was such a great experience. So thank you so much.
And as we wrap up the show, can you tell our audience about some of the services you provide at TaylorMade Human Resources, and how can people contact you through there?
Yeah, so on all of my platform, all of my social media, I have Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Lemonade, all of those different platforms, YouTube. You can click on, I have a link tree where you're able to schedule a call or review any of the information that I already have out there, where you can just figure out exactly what you're looking for, or we can hop on a call. I do offer that, where you can talk to me and we can kind of brainstorm exactly where we need to go, because some people don't know. Some people are starting from scratch, and they like, I need help, and that's all they know. So from there we can kind of tailor it down to the point where what is going to help you and what is going to help solve your problem that you're going through. So I go from, I work on leadership. I help people with their PHR or SPHR certification. So if you need help with figuring out how to study and finding the information, different study guides that I recommend. I even have my own study guide that I use for individuals to help them. Um, Finding positions. Some people don't know how to source their own next career. So just trying to figure out exactly what are you passionate about, what's going to help you grow into the person you want to be, where can you see yourself retiring from.
By the way, I have all your social media sites and website on the graphics below too, especially TikTok and Linktree and your YouTube channel as well.
I appreciate that so much. I see it scrolling at the bottom, so thank you.
You're welcome. And as we wrap up this show, this is a new segment I created recently. It's called "What is a fun fact about my guests that the people might not know about you?"
Oh, that is a good one. So a fun fact, if anyone see me and you ever want to get me anything, I love cheesecake. Cheesecake is my favorite. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I will devour it. Cheesecake Factory is my favorite place to go. Red Velvet is my favorite. So it's a guilty pleasure. So that's something I can't wait to have during the holiday season. I'm already making my list of different cheesecakes I want to try out this year. So yeah, I've saved the Biscoff cheesecake that I have my eye on, that I've a recipe that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try this out. So if you ever see me out and you want to do something for me, cheesecake would be just make my world. So yeah.
I love blueberry cheesecake. And by the way, I'm Canadian, and I don't know if you've been over to Canada, but we have a dessert treat called butter tarts. Have you ever heard of butter tarts? Have you ever tried them?
I have
No.
not. I have
Okay.
not. That sounds
Butter
amazing
tarts.
though. It
It's a
just sounds
Canadian tradition. And this past Sunday, I was at a butter tart festival in Stratford, Ontario, which is a hometown of Justin Bieber. And I got to be a butter tart judge. I got to taste 16 different butter tarts. But I have to be honest, 16 different butter tarts. It was a bit of a sugar rush that day. But yeah, if you ever come to Ontario or Canada, you got to try not just poutine, which is fries, gravy, and curds, but you also should try butter tarts. You can have them with raisins, pecans, or you can just have them plain as well.
oh, I can't wait because now you're gonna have me drive over to Windsor if they have it.
Oh yes, butter tarts are huge over here, just like poutine is as well. It's not probably the healthiest food, but it's a nice dessert and it's really sweet and it's really good. And as for cheesecake, yeah, I love my favorite cheesecake is Junior's from New York City. I was in New York a few years ago, and this place, Junior's, had homemade cheesecake. One slice is basically like three slices, and my favorite kind of cheesecake is blueberry, absolutely blueberry.
That sounds amazing, and I want to try every cheesecake that I can. So I'm definitely keeping that in mind. That in New York, I'm definitely going because I I,
Junior's.
I really I feel like those calories don't count. So to me, for me, it's worth it. So I would definitely go to Junior's.
It's easy to put on weight, but when I get older, it's harder to lose weight. So I wish there was some kind of pill where you could take it and you just lose instantly 20, 30 pounds off.
You never know. See, with AI, anything is possible nowadays. So you never know what may come up within the next few years, and you're like, "Wow, I spoke this out into existence."
How tall are you, by the way?
Yep, I'm 5'9".
5'9"? Okay. I was 5'9". Now I'm 5'5".
How, so how is that possible?
I turned 50. Turned 50.
Okay,
See what happens?
I, I'm trying to think. I'm like, gosh, maybe because I don't know. I like being tall, so now I'm like, is that that's a chance that I'm going to get shorter when I get older?
No, you'll be fine.
Okay, because I'm like, oh no.
You're only 26, by the way. That's the perfect age.
I wish, but yeah, come on, I'm here for it.
Absolutely. And this is another new segment I created recently too on here, and it's called Ask the Host Me CDP. Those are my initials, by the way. Do you have a question to put me on the hot seat as we wrap this up?
Yes, my question is always a positive one. So, what's your favorite part of your platform? So, what is your favorite part of being the host of CDP?
Storytelling, connecting with guests, and learning. I love this, just being able to communicate with guests and meeting people. I've had people on from 8 different countries, from Switzerland, Germany, the US, the UK, Canada, 8 countries, and just learning about my guests and the storytelling aspect of it. And I love doing what I'm doing. This is a passion of mine, and I can tell how passionate you are about HR, and I'm passionate about media and radio work. And by the way, my show's not just sports. Sometimes people look at my show and say, "Oh, it's live with CDP Sports Talk. I can't come on your show. I don't like sports." And I'm like, "Yes, but it is sports, but it's also an entertainment show." So I've turned this into a diverse show with guests and topics. And I'm just trying to prove to the radio industry that age is just a number. I'm 53, by the way, and being self-taught is not a liability, and that as well. And I'm even now speaking to local high schools once a month about the importance of education in the classroom, outside a classroom, and also you don't have to pick one career as a teenager and stick with it your rest of your life. You could have 2, 3, 4, 5 careers. So I get to go in and speak to good students about my life experiences and my mistakes. Like, you make mistakes and you can try to help younger people pay it forward wherever career you're in, and pay it forward. And I love doing this. This is a passion of mine. And sometimes I'm not 100% when I come on here, but as soon as it goes live and I'm talking to my guests, my adrenaline kicks in, and this is a passion of mine. And I've been very lucky. I've done 700 episodes and I've had a lot of great guests. It's the guests like yourself that make a great talk show.
Oh, I appreciate you for saying that. And also, it's amazing to hear how passionate you are about this, because I can tell as well, like when you find your passion and you find what your God-given talent is and you run with that, everything works out. And as we can see, meeting all those people and talking to different people from different countries, like that's some people's dream. So you are definitely living it as a reality.
And finally, Jazmine, where can our audience follow you on social media and your website? And by the way, you have an open invite to come on again. And I have another show called the Small Talk Podcast, which is a once a month show I do with my co-host, Marlene Sharp, who's in the animation cartoon industry out in Los Angeles.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for that. So anyone can follow me at TaylorMadeHR. So you can follow me across all the social media platforms, like I said, Facebook, YouTube, Threads, Lemonade. I literally have everything you can possibly think of. So I would appreciate everyone who's watching, if they watch at a later date, to follow me and reach out and connect. I would love to connect.
And make sure you subscribe to her YouTube channel, TaylorMadeHR YouTube channel. You're one of the nicest HR people I've ever met, and I'll have to connect you with Shabana, who's an HR person here in Ontario, because she probably would like to speak to you about the same profession and maybe a little bit of differences between Ontario law and Michigan law as well. But she was another great guest as well. And I want to say thank you so much for giving us over an hour of your time tonight. And give me a little bit of time tonight, and I will send you the full video, the audio, and then I will reduce the video into reels and clips, because our attention spans are getting less and less. So I'll put them into 30-40 second clips on TikTok and Instagram as well. And I want to wish you all the continued success in the world. And if you do start up a podcast show, think of me as your first guest, and I would be happy to assist you with getting you started with a podcast.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for allowing me on your platform. It's appreciated. You don't know how much you have impacted me already. So thank you.
Awesome. And the next time I do come over to Detroit, I will definitely let you know, because I know the Taylor area, the Allen Park, Michigan area, and Detroit's one of my favorite sports cities with the Red Wings, Pistons, and Tigers. Are you a sports fan, by the way?
Yes, I'm mainly college, because being in college, like, you get a chance to go to all the games. I've been to a hockey game or two. I haven't been to a professional basketball game or football game besides college. So I'm looking forward to expanding myself as our teams do get better. Lions is going crazy this year. Their tickets are crazy as well, but it definitely would be very cool to hopefully get them to the Super Bowl and see them finally. So, yeah.
Well, they got to go through my Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go Birds. Eagles and Lions, November 16th in Philly. We should have a friendly wager on that game.
I'm here for it. I need to discuss with my representatives, my brothers, because they'll be able to tell me if I'm doing a good one.
We'll have to put cheesecake on the line. Cheesecake up on the line for this game.
I'm definitely here for that wager.
And they call it Philly cheesecake.
They do. They do.
So,
I love
but
it. I've been to Philly, and it's definitely a beautiful city.
very passionate about their sports and their food as well, especially the cheesesteaks.
Yes.
So, anyways, Jazmine, I'm going to let you go, but thank you so much for giving us over 90 minutes of your time. I apologize if I kept you over the hour, but I learned a lot about you tonight, and I hope you had a good experience on here too.
I did. Thank you so much. It did not feel like 90 minutes at all. You made me feel very comfortable. So thank you.
You're very welcome. And by the way, the World Series tickets in Toronto right now for standing room only for Friday night, $2,500. And they have a hotel inside the Sky Dome or the Rogers Center. They want $16,000 a night for a hotel room. So I'm definitely not going to the World Series. I'll be watching it at free.
Sometimes I'm like, am I in the wrong industry? Because that's a lot of money. But hey, sometimes that's a lot.
We'll have to do a comedy act one day. Jazmine and Chris.
I'm here for it.
Deal. Thank you so much for coming on here, Jazmine, and we'll talk to you really soon, and I will send you the video, the audio, and some clips as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Talk to you later.
You too. Thanks, Jazmine.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That wraps up season 12, episode 4, overall 609 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, hosted by yours truly, Chris Pame, and brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Automall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. As we wrap up this show, everybody, just wanted everyone to check out Cipriana's Pizzeria, located at 22 Queen Street West in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-220-1295, or visit their website at ciprianaspizza.ca. That's Cipriana's Pizza, again, located at 22 Queen Street West in Cambridge, Ontario, in Hespeler Village. 519-222-1295, or visit their website at ciprianaspizzeria.ca. Under the graphics, they have the best pizza, and I had their lasagna today. The owner's name is Andrea, so make sure you say hi to Andrea from CDP. She makes awesome pizza, awesome lasagna. The lasagna, 5 stars. Rice pudding. They do wings. They do some Greek food there as well. So please check out Cipriana's Pizzeria, again, in Cambridge, Ontario, in Hespeler Village, 22 Queen Street West, or visit their website, ciprianaspizzeria.ca. So a big shout out to Andrea, who is the owner and founder of Cipriana's Pizzeria, and they really do have great food there. So please check them out as well. And as we wrap up the show, guys, I have another announcement. The next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again brought to you by barrycullen.com, is going to be on Thursday, October 30th at 5 p.m. Eastern with my guest, her first appearance. Her name is Sherelle Skolberg. Sherelle Skolberg. She is a therapist and social worker, and she's the founder of her own company called Mental Health Services. She's Caring Conversations. She's the founder of Caring Conversations in Mental Health Services. So please check out Live with CDP Sports Entertainment Talk Show tomorrow night, Thursday, October 30th at 5 p.m. Eastern with my guest, Sherelle Skolberg, founder and therapist of Caring Conversations in Mental Health Services. We're going to talk about mental health these days, the importance of good mental health, and some tips to continue to have mental health as well. And the Argo Bounce podcast show, our season final with Nick Small and myself. Nick's been under the weather, so I'm hoping Nick will be ready this weekend to do our 16th episode and final episode as well. The Argo season, unfortunately, is already over with their 5 and 13 season, but Nick and I will talk a little bit about the 2025 Argos and what they can expect, hopefully, to get this team back to the Grey Cup next year in 2026. And Nick and I will preview the upcoming CFL East and West semifinals as well. And as we wrap up this show, everybody, again, you can follow my guest Jazmine tonight on all these social media platforms, TikTok, LinkedIn. She's also on YouTube, and she is on Instagram as well. So I want to say thank you to Jazmine Taylor, an HR specialist and the founder of TaylorMadeHR, for coming on here tonight. So please consider following her. As we wrap up the show, guys, right now at Barry Cullen Chevrolet, with a new vehicle purchase, get a $150 instant rebate on winter tires on a set of 4 new Bridgestone Blizzdack winter tires with the purchase or finance or lease of an eligible new 2023 to 2026 vehicle. Conditions apply at Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership, or drop by the Auto Mall at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall, or check out their website, barrycullen.com. And great customer service, great products there as well. And as we wrap up this show, guys, check out the Cambridge District Humane Society if you're looking to adopt a pet, located at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or visit their website at cambridgehumanesociety.org. Speaking of Cambridge District Humane Society, I am now selling 2026 Cambridge District Humane Society calendars. They're only $10. $10. That's right, folks. They will make a great Christmas gift or a stocking stuffer. And if you want a calendar, email me at cpalme19@gmail.com or DM me on social media. I am trying to sell 30 calendars and raise $300 for the Cambridge District Humane Society. All the money goes back into the animal programs at the Cambridge District Humane Society. So please purchase a calendar and support animals like Chico and Pebbles and Christopher down there. They do a wonderful job in taking care of our homeless furry friends and making sure they get adopted into good homes and good families as well. So if you'd like a calendar, please DM me on my social media pages or cpalme19@gmail.com. Now, if you're out of town and I have to ship the calendar, it'll be extra. The calendar is only $10, but shipping fees are probably a little more than that. But I'd be happy to mail you out a calendar if you're out of the Guelph, Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge area. So please consider supporting our friends at the Cambridge District Humane Society with a 2026 calendar, and they really are great calendars this year as well. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show again is live streamed on these platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on TikTok at Chris Palme. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. And again, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, the audio version is on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, Tuned In, YouTube Music, and Good Pods. And please remember to subscribe as well. And that wraps up our show tonight, everybody. I want to say thank you again to my guest, Jazmine Taylor, for coming on here. And I'm looking forward to my guest tomorrow, Sherelle Skolberg, founder and therapist of Caring Conversations and Mental Health Services as well. And we do have baseball on tonight, everybody. We have Blue Jays and Dodgers. Troy Yusavage going against Blake Snell. First pitch at 8:10. They should probably be in the second or third inning right now. So the Dodgers-Jays series is tied up at 2. The Jays came off a big win last night, 6-2. And Dodgers really need this game tonight because Game 6 and after the Game 7 will both be played in Toronto, which will be a crazy environment down at the Rogers Center. So Jays and Tigers. And as for the Red Wings, they are off to LA. They'll be playing the Kings tomorrow night. The Wings are off to their best start since 2010 with a 7-3 record. They won a 5-2 over the Blues. And we got NBA tonight, and that would be the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, the Charlotte Hornets taking on Cade Cunningham and the 2-2 Pistons as well. So this is a great time of the year for everybody for sports, and also Halloween. For some of those people, happy belated or happy early Halloween. And I'm looking forward to Halloween Friday as well. So I hope everybody has a great night. Enjoy the Major League Baseball World Series, the NHL playoffs, and NBA's back as well. And hope you guys can check out Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show tomorrow night at 5 o'clock again with Sherelle Skolberg, a therapist and social worker as well. Have a great night, everybody. And again, thank you to Jazmine Taylor for coming on. And thank you to Barry Cullen Chevrolet for sponsoring this show. And I appreciate everybody watching this show live stream and on my audio platforms. Have a great night, everybody. And by the way, before we wrap this up, a shout out to the Business Education Partnership of Waterloo Region. I want to say thank you to Jennifer Birdstill for giving me the opportunities to occasionally go to local high schools in Kitchener-Waterloo and speak to the students about my career story and the importance of finding a career, passion, and the importance of education in and outside of classroom as well. So Business Education Partnership of Waterloo Region, a big shout out to Jennifer and their team as well. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night for another edition of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership. Good night, everybody.